Hey there, I'm going to show you the install of the Jeff Anderson radio splitter into an NC Miata. I haven't seen any videos on it, just some descriptions, so I figured let's try it. I've never done this before. I'm just following the instructions, so we'll see how tough it is. So here's my kind of full trunk with my hat and stuff. These are the instructions that come with the kit. It sounds pretty easy to do. I've done part of the first step, which is to remove the jack from the side there, and now I am pulling the trim pieces out, and it's simple as putting your fingernail in there, just pulling, and they pop right out. So the three trim pieces I need to remove are this back one. I guess we call this actually the front one. Alright, and then that should meet here. Putting the camera upside down, let's fix that, not that it really matters. Alright, so now this whole trim piece should just pop out. Alright, so that one's out. Set that aside. And this should pop out. Oh, there's one under there. Just move the rug out of the way. And let's see. Just come right on out. I'm going to put the camera down so I can use both hands. Just trying not to lose any trim piece. Ah, there is another one holding it down here. So let me just show you that. There's one down there. So get that guy. Okay, let's see if there are any others. Doesn't look like it. So this trim piece, oops, sorry. This trim piece should come out now. Man, I'm doing terribly with the camera. There we go, it's just sliding around in the trunk. I'm not using a tripod, obviously. Well, I'm going to get this piece out and then I'll show you what the situation is after that. Okay, got to get the back one off. So, same deal. He did say you have to take this one off too, but I thought I'd do them one at a time, but it looks like because of their way they are all attached, you gotta sorry. So, because of the way they're all attached, you have to do them together. So, got that. One more here. This one's being tough. I'm going to put the camera down and get both hands on it. Need longer fingernails. That one kind of dug up a little. Alright. Anyway. That's that free, and now this trim piece is going to pop right out. And if anyone can watch this with this horrible camera work, I'll be amazed. Alright, anyway, let's get this trim piece out. Oh, there's another one over here. And then finally, last one to come out will be this one. Well, I don't know that I need to remove it anymore. I had to remove some pieces from it, but I think I'm done. So here we have the inside of the trunk. This is the wire that goes to the license plate. Oh no, that one goes to the brake, central brake light. And let's just look around. Okay, so this is that for the. Let's see. Yeah, that's for the Sirius radio. So this, you may not have one of these if you don't have the Sirius radio installed. But this is the one we care about. This is the antenna right here, so you can see. And now we'll go to work. I'm going to read the next steps, and then I'll do them. Alright, actually, there's one more step. He did say to do this first, but I did it. I'm going to do it now. It's to replace the antenna, because the stock antenna is not long enough. So here's the replacement that I bought. It's like a $10 antenna. The stock one just unscrews like that. The adapter here, let's see, not quite in focus, there we go, is a little bit long, so I threw a couple of rubber washers on there. You can put anything non-conductive on there in order to fill the gap, or you can cut the gap down. I'm actually going to go buy a bigger set of washers so it covers this metal, but for now this will do the trick. And just tighten it down on there. Okay, that's the antenna installed. Okay, now on to installing the splitter. Alright, so the next step is to unscrew the antenna box, the stock antenna box here, the AM/FM I should say antenna box. There's a little Phillips screw, actually a fairly large one, right back here, and it's a little tricky to get to. And you need a small screwdriver because a long one won't fit in the space you've got here, and it's screwed on really tight, so you need a lot of torque. So what I ended up doing is putting the screwdriver in the vice grip to get me some extra leverage there, and I'm just going to put the camera down, stop the video, and finish unscrewing that. Alright, so I ended up, I did need the vice grip to get it started, but then I switched to a different screwdriver. Got that all unscrewed, and then you simply pull down, and that releases the antenna. You can see where the antenna plugs in. And now we're on to the next step, which is going to be to, it says to rotate the amplifier box a little past horizontal and remount it. So it mounted there, so it looks like, yep, that's how it looks in the picture. So we're just going to remount it right like that, and I'm simply going to use that same screw and screw it back in. So I'll be back after that. Alright, so next I plug the splitter in. Now I find, so the instructions say to mount it horizontally like that, but then when I do that, it doesn't seem to fit in there, so I just rotated it vertically, and seems to have plenty of room there to do that. This is, by the way, the splitter box. So we have this, which goes to the antenna, and this other wire that goes to the original AM/FM amplifier, and then one more that goes through the car to your CB radio. So just going to install that. So we start with the antenna, okay, and then the wire that goes to the AM/FM amplifier. And now at this point I could probably mount it horizontally, but even then it's a little bit pushing on there, so I think I'll just keep it vertical. It's happy, it seems happy like that. Okay. The next step is to run the antenna line into the cab, and in order to do that, I think I need to, to drop some pull some trim and drop the top, so go do that or set up for that, and get to that in just a second. Okay, so next you need to remove this trim. So there's a pop-up fastener here, and one here, here, and here. So just need to pull this up and then pull this up, and I'm going to do that. There's no good place to put the camera, so again I'm going to stop the video and then do that. And then to get this out, you just simply, these little tabs just go in there, so you just pull it back and they pop out right like that. Okay, I just want to point out something on this piece here. Well, first of all, I had to take this out. This wire is for the CB radio, don't worry about that. So this trim piece just pulls right out, just pull it up, very easy. This one's a little tricky because it was in here, there's this, this piece goes in there, and it just took a lot of force. Well, for someone who didn't want to break a piece of plastic that was keeping something in place, it seemed to take a lot of force. But if you just grip it on both sides and pull it up, it'll come right out. The other thing to note when you pull this off, and I kind of screwed this up a little bit, but there are these metal grips that was holding that in place. I mean, whatever, if you scratch the paint on the inside, it's pretty much irrelevant. But I think I might have to reposition these because I pulled them up a little bit. Alright, so let's just quickly look at what we've got here. Now you can see I did put the fish line through, and let's see if you can see it. Now, it's right back in there. I don't think I can get a good shot of it, but it's right there because I did a test pull through, or push through. So basically let me show you how you do that. The line simply goes in right here, and you push it until you stop. And when you've stopped, you've hit this piece of trim here. So now the next thing to figure out is where I want to mount the CB, because, or the CB that I've got is the Cobra 75, and then it's got some letters, SXW or something. And basically it's a hand, most of the system is in the handset, and then there's this, which I originally thought I was going to mount in there, but now I'm thinking maybe it'll go underneath the like the glove box or somewhere else. So I'm going to figure out where I want to mount this now, and there are 10 feet, there's 10 feet of coax, so there's plenty to run it around. So I'm going to figure that out and let you know what I decide. Okay, so I've got it through. You can see the well, the fish is here. By the way, you can use a coat hanger, he says, instead of a fish. The nice thing about this fishing wire is that it was able to bend around here, so I could feed it all the way through. I think that made it easier. So here's the coax cable for the CB. Let me just show you. I did actually end up using a different access point. Now the trick here is just be careful. You can see I've stripped the plastic off there a little bit because this is very sharp. But I was trying to go originally through there and had some troubles. Oops, this is actually focusing better close. So I tried to go through there, but kept bumping into stuff. Tried through there, and it went through really easily. So just be careful of the top there, and I think you'll be all right. Maybe I should have, before I did this, I should have put some tape on there just to keep it from doing that. I'm going to do that now before I feed the rest through. I'm still not entirely sure where I'm going to mount the little CB amplifier part, but I think it'll probably be like under the dash. All right, let's see what I do. Alright, so I've decided to mount it behind the passenger seat, so you can see the Velcro here. I've got the CB amplifier back, getting some solder on it. This is, so the instructions for the Cobra CB say that the box should also be grounded, and incidentally, this is pretty much officially the end of the splitter installation part, because with this here, that's all you have to do for the splitter. This is now getting into the radio install. Okay, so what I'm decided to try to do is these seats have some nice little eye holes. Let's see if I can point them out. Right here. Let me get the strap out of the way. right here, and I'm just going to bolt the wires to there. Got the eye hole here, and it'll just go on there with a bolt. So I'm just scraping the paint off so that I'll get a connection, and the idea here is that the seat is hopefully getting grounded to the chassis through this, and that should do it for the electrical connection. And incidentally, there are 2 wires off the antenna. Well, 3, I guess. There's the ground wire that I've added. There's the neutral, which is also, or minus, which is also going to go to here. And then there's the plus, the power side, and I'm going to run that around underneath here, underneath there, and across behind the dash over to the fuse box where I'll use a busman add a fuse. So we'll get to that next step. Okay, so we're over on the driver's side where the fuse box is. Manual will tell you, but there's a cover there, and you just pull the fuse out. I'm using a busman add a fuse. What it is just a little box. Pull the fuse out. I'm using the 12-volt accessory, you know, the lighter fuse for that circuit, and you have to add a second fuse. Let's see, I don't know where the focus point is. There we go, somewhere over there. So I added a second fuse and just pop it in there. And I used a bullet connector, and just gonna push that back there. Although it's probably too short, so I'm gonna have to bring the wire around from it. So I'm just gonna run that wire around through the car and connect it back there, and that's it. Alright, so the wire is now run halfway, and I got it attached to the tape now, and I'm just gonna put it back behind the radio and feed it across the car. So I'm gonna put the camera down and fish it through. Alright, so I just need to put some trim pieces back, but the installation is complete. And if I did the job well, you can't see that the wire is hidden there. It goes up there. You can see the little red wire there. And around the car. And then I wired it up with the other stuff that goes above the steering column. Let's see. I have no idea if you can see in there, but basically comes in through there, goes up through there, comes back down, and we just open up the fuse box. There you go. There's the add a fuse and the extra fuse in line. So that's it. Job done.